Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Alex, aka Alex Vagabond, and in this video I'll be sitting down with you here this morning in Rarotonga. I'm in the Cook Islands, really chill little Airbnb. It's like a Polynesian cabin vibe, right on the beach, and it's 7:30 in the morning. I just woke up and I'm sitting down and journaling and writing out some of my experiences from 2019, my emotions and my motivations, just kind of doing a recap of 2019, which has been an incredibly transformative year. And I don't know if it's just because it's 2019 and it's the end of a decade, or if it's because I'm at a point in my life where there's just a lot of changes happening, or maybe it's just a combination of both. And I kind of think it's the latter there. There's so many great things to be grateful for. It's also been a tough year, and I think that's life, you know, with the good comes the not so good. But we have to do our best to try to take both in stride. So I've never shot a video like this. I just want to sit down with you guys here at the table this morning, with a cup of coffee, with my journal, and just kind of go over some of the things that have happened to me this year, some of the things that I'm grateful for, some of the experiences that I'm remembering and putting into my journal, some of the emotions that I'm feeling right now. I think as we come closer to the end of the year, it's always a period of reflection and self-assessment, but especially so because we're coming to the end of a decade. I'm 31 right now, even though I don't feel it, and I'm turning 32 in March, and in May of 2020 I'm getting married to my beautiful, amazing fiance, Carrie Rad, and I'm so excited about that. And I just feel like there's a lot going on in my life, so I should sit down and share it with you guys, because I don't feel like I've ever done that before. 10 years ago I was living in Spain. I had just finished college and graduated university at University of California, Santa Barbara. I got a Bachelor of Arts in History and in Cultural Anthropology, and I think that studying those subjects really set my compass on this course towards better understanding humans, our culture, and the way that humanity has adapted to different parts of this planet. And I think that that curiosity is what drove me towards filmmaking and traveling. And it's been an incredible ride. I remember in my senior year of university, people kind of just sitting there and asking me what I was going to do with my degree, and I didn't really know, because there weren't a lot of options, and still aren't really, for people who study history and cultural anthropology, other than like going back to school and getting a master's. And I was just not interested in spending that much money and time back at school. I ended up teaching English in Spain, and what was only going to be 1 year teaching, my first year was spent in Pontevedra, Galicia, turned into 3. And over that period of 3 years, I learned so much about myself. I traveled extensively throughout Europe, I couch surfed, I met new friends, I experienced different cultures, I walked the Camino de Santiago, 1 month walking across northern Spain, which taught me so much about myself, about what motivates me, what makes me feel alive, spirituality, which was something new for me. I wasn't raised in a particularly religious family. I'm still not particularly religious. I don't fall into a specific denomination, but I definitely believe in a power in this universe. And doing the Camino de Santiago definitely helped me get in touch with nature, where I feel the closest to that power. And then after that, Mark and I joining forces. You know, my older brother was a travel writer and I was getting into videography and photography, and we joined forces and all of these amazing things started to happen. We won this contest, the Biggest Baddest Bucket List. It took us on a 6-month trip around the world. We experienced so many things. We essentially got a crash course in travel filmmaking. That was a long time ago. That was in 2013 and it's almost 2020, so nearly 7 years ago. And for the past 7 years, Marco and I have been working together to build the Vaga Brothers brand, to travel and tell stories about history and culture and cuisine, meeting different people and helping to share their life stories, their culture to a wider audience. And that has been an immensely gratifying experience. It feels incredible to be able to say that I wouldn't go back and change anything. Everything that happened to me, I feel, for a reason. It taught me something. The good and the bad, you learn from both. And you know, what I've learned is that the most important thing is being able to bounce back from the bad, to focus on the good, and to strive to the next goal. And so that's what I kind of want to talk about next is goal setting and goal achieving. When I think about goal setting, I always think about this chapter in one of my favorite books, The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. And if you haven't read that, I highly recommend that you read it. I'll link it down in the description box. But there's this point in the book, towards the end, it traces the journey of a young shepherd boy as he tries to chase his dreams and make them become reality. And there's one point towards the end where he's so close to getting what he has worked so hard for, to achieving his goal. And he has this feeling, and he can't describe why, he just has it. And it's a feeling that he no longer wants to achieve that goal. That he doesn't think he can do it, that he doesn't think he deserves it. And it makes him question how he spent his time, whether it was even a worthy goal in the first place. I think we all struggle with that from time to time. And it's really important to realize that when we get close to achieving our goals, that is the hardest point in the entire journey. That's when we have to double down. That's when we have to push harder to get across the finish line. In March of this year, I ran my first marathon, and I think that running a marathon taught me so much about myself. And it was a very visceral, challenging lesson in goal setting and goal achieving, because towards the end of the run, at around mile 23 of 26.2, which is the length of a marathon, I started to question whether or not I even wanted to finish. I questioned why I had set that goal for myself in the first place. And then I remembered that passage from the book, The Alchemist, and I realized that those feelings I had, they were normal, but they were the self-defeating aspects of our personalities that we all have. The feeling that I don't deserve this, I'm not worthy of achieving this goal. And then you start to say to yourself, like, I didn't even want this goal in the first place. And with the marathon, that's when I pushed even harder. I remembered the chapter from The Alchemist. I told those voices in my head, no, you're wrong. I want this goal, I'm gonna achieve this goal, and I'm not gonna let you sabotage this goal. And I think that we need to remember more often, myself included, that we have to have that difficult conversation with ourselves. When those voices come up, we have to silence them. Because if we listen to them, we're self-sabotaging. And as we move into the new year and the new decade, it's more important than ever to silence those voices and to tune back in to our real inner voice that guides us to where we want to be and where we need to be. Another thing this year that taught me a lot about life is my mother was diagnosed out of the blue with stage 3 breast cancer. I got a phone call one afternoon from my mom, and she told me that on the phone, and it was really, I mean, it hit me like a bus came out of nowhere and just broadsided me. And that was so difficult to digest and comprehend, because my mother, I love my mom so much. She means the world to me. She's the reason I have the travel bug. She was a flight attendant for Pan Am and still is a flight attendant for Delta. And being the son of a flight attendant really opened the world up to me, showed me the diversity of this planet, and allowed me to travel extensively as a young person. And that gave me this global perspective that I value and cherish so much today. So hearing that was really difficult. But my mom maintained a positive outlook, even though the news that she had gotten was very negative and it was very late. And she didn't dwell on the negative. She just focused on what she could do and committed herself 100% to doing what she could do to combat the bad. And that mentality, it just impacted me so much. It was so inspiring to see my mom stepping up to the battle of her life like that. You know, it was really inspiring to see. And thankfully, just recently, she's finished all of her chemo, and we got the great news from the doctor that it looks as if the cancer is gone, that she's successfully battled breast cancer, and she's in recovery now. And that was such gratifying news to hear. But her experience taught me so much about the power of positivity, the power of the mind to overcome physical realities. We are endowed with the incredible ability to manifest whatever it is we want. Our minds are so powerful. You know, scientists say that we only use around 10% of the capacity of our brains at any given time in our lives. Imagine if we can harness the other 90%. I think that situations like my mom's show that when we harness more of what we're given with our brains, that anything is possible. So I want to kind of leave you guys with that, to think about. What is it in your lives that you're not dedicating more of your brain power to? What is it you want to manifest but feel like you can't? Maybe write that down in a journal after watching this video. And think afterwards what you can do to manifest that. What can you do or say now to make that goal achievable? So let me know in the comment section what you promise to do in 2020. What goal are you going to set for yourself to improve both physically and mentally and become a better person? And how are you going to do it? By stating it publicly, we hold ourselves accountable in a way that we just can't by keeping these things to ourselves. So that's what this video is about. It's a public promise to all of you to continue to push myself physically, mentally, emotionally, creatively, to share more, to challenge myself more, to try new things, to document it and share it with you. I really wish all of you out there the happiest new year and a healthy and successful new year and new decade. So please share your goals down in the comment section. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up. Share it with your friends. Inspire them as well. And be a role model to the people in your lives by making the positive changes that you can today and implementing them in the future. Yeah, so if you're not subscribed, make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and remember, travel farther, fail smarter, and never give up. Peace.